We have it all for you. So we're going to get started with our first student presenter. We have Sydney Dannenbrink. So come on up, Sydney. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
All right, so I'm going to be reading my essay today. It's about garage codes. There are garage codes in there, but I changed the numbers, so don't try and break in anywhere. Okay, so 5727 enter. I hear the gears begin to shift and the whiny rumble as the garage door lifts. Just like that, the code works every time, and I don't even live here. A garage code. Most people take them for granted, but for me, this simple combination represents so much more than 4 random digits. It brings immediate access into someone's home, providing an intimate look into their life, where they cook, sleep, binge TV, and make a lifetime of memories. Garage codes have a deeper meaning for me, maybe because I live in 2 houses, one my mom's and one my dad's. Since I was 2 years old, I've switched back and forth between the 2 places, always struggling with the idea of which one was home, always struggling with the notion that I belonged in either one. When I have to type in my home address, which one do I put? When I'm getting a package, where do I mail it? When it turns to night, where will I be sleeping? Do I even have a home? The truth is, I've never had one singular place that I could call home. I vividly remember the day I learned what home means to me. About a year ago, I was on my way to my friend Sophia's house, and when I got there, she texted me her garage code, 5727, instead of unlocking her front door. A simple gesture that demonstrated her trust in me, granting me the literal key to her house without any hesitation. This act of trust created an instant and deep connection that strengthened my relationship with a close friend. That was the day I realized home isn't defined by where you sleep. To me, home is not where the heart is. Home is where the people I love are. Home is somewhere I can watch silly try not to laugh videos as a little kid. Home is somewhere I can fight with my sister over the fact that I didn't bring her hair curlers home. Home is somewhere I can get ready for football games and homecoming with all my friends. Ultimately, home is somewhere I don't have to worry about everything going on in the world, my grades, or even my college applications, because the people I love are right in front of me. I'm honored to know more than 2 garage codes, 1212, the code to my mom's house, 1234, the code to my dad's house, he's not the most creative, 5727, the code to my friend Sophia's, and 1962, the code to my friend Kate's house. 4 random numbers that aren't random to me, 4 safe spaces, 4 people who granted me access into their life, 4 homes. All of these places were home for me, and thanks to my friend Sophia, all of these places are home for me. The next presenter will be Matthew Jones.
All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Matthew Jones. First, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Mr. Anderson's fourth period class. All right. The narrative that I'm about to read is something that I wrote reflecting on my last ever cross-country race and the flood of emotions that I felt during it. The wind. The wind is not tangible, but a mystical essence that whirls through the world, creating tension throughout people's lives. I felt the wind on that cold, snowy November day. I grasped it through its incorporeality, pulling all that I could out of it, greedily stealing all that I could, and I still needed more. My last high school cross-country season ended 2 weeks ago when only 2 of my teammates qualified for state. Once again, I had an allergic reaction which pulled me back, but even with that, it would have taken a miracle to make it. I held back my tears as Coach Z told us we had a great season and ran good races that simply weren't great enough. I retreated into a well of existential thought as the goal that I had been striving towards for 3 years was washed away. We didn't make state, and I was crushed. Yet with this pain, I resolved to give my all just one more time at Nike Cross Regionals, or NXR. An open race full of the best athletes from the surrounding 5 states, our team took a trip to Terre Haute, Indiana for this beautiful course. My friend Theo, who I have been racing with since forever, took first in his race, and screaming for him throughout the course inspired me to just go. I figured if he could be in first, then I could be in the front pack in my own race, and after all, this was it for my cross-country racing career. So there I was at the 1K marker, running with some very fast people, leaving my teammates that were in my heat far behind me. This race was about more than just getting out and going, though, because sure, that was incredibly fun, but the feelings that I felt, well, that might be the last time that I ever get to feel them. Making a move to adjust your stride mid-race, instantly putting some more ground between you and the person behind you, feeling my spikes gripping through the snow-covered ground as I fought for positioning. But most importantly, the wind. The wind blew into my face the gravity of my situation, reminding me of the end of my career. I would never again feel that my spirits soar as I flew through a kick, never again feel the butterflies in my stomach as I stood before the foreboding start line, never again feel this perfect pain. Likewise, it also blew the memories of my team into my thoughts. I reminisced about all the times eating at Wendy's and various post-race restaurants. I remembered all the times of Quiplash, all the pool parties, the Frisbee games, keeping each other sane during the pandemic, winning invites, all of it. And I smiled. Racing through 40-degree weather, pushing my body harder and harder, I smiled. My time in cross-country, it was perfect. There is simply no other way I would have preferred it. So I shunned the thought of retreat, needing more time on the course, needing 1 more, 2 more miles to go. I needed more. All right, next up is Kirthi Krishna.
This piece is called Mystery Microwave. I had just gotten off a 15-hour flight that was supposed to only be 8 hours. On top of that, it was pouring on the streets of Paris, and we had no umbrellas. We weren't even supposed to be there. And we were supposed to be on our way to India, but our flight got delayed, and we had a layover. No matter how much I bothered my sister, whether it was for food or for her Kindle, all my 4-year-old self could think about was the desolate pit in my stomach. I tried to concentrate on the sights from the small black taxi, the brown pavement, the lined-up boutiques, and people briskly walking by. We came to a halting stop in front of a lavish hotel, poised with sleek, black, revolving doors. My sister took my hand and tugged me inside, with my mom following. A chandelier with dim yellow light illuminated the room as soft jazz and conversation sifted through the vast space. Once we got to our room, I flopped onto the stiff bed. The sheets were tightly tucked into the corners of the queen-size beds, and sheets were pristinely white. My mom walked to the microwave. She put our most precious belongings, our passports and my sister's Kindle in it, and I watched her punch in a couple numbers, although I don't think she noticed I was behind her watching. My sister left me unattended to follow my mom, who was looking around in the bathroom. I shuffled out of the bed, jumping to the floor. I kicked my shoes off and set them next to the box. I pressed the numbers, which my mom had done cautiously a few moments ago, and the microwave opened. I had my white Skechers, spotted with glitter and tiny Velcro straps. I carefully pressed the numbers, and I added my shoe inside. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could remember a new code. But just as I punched in these numbers, they dissipated from my mind. My heart dropped as I frantically pressed numbers, hoping it would open up faster the more I pressed it. Hearing the imminent beeping, my mom and sister walked in, puzzled looks on their faces. I pointed and said, "The microwave isn't opening." My sister's eyes widened, and she gave me an exasperated look. "That's not a microwave, that's a safe. You've got to be kidding me. We've been in Paris for barely 2 hours, and you already decided to do something stupid." My mom called the front desk, and 2 locksmiths appeared at our door. It was going to take a couple hours to unlock the safe, so my sister suggested we go sightsee to pass the time. We wandered around the streets of Paris without any identification, my mom's iPhone 4, me with 1 shoe, and a handful of cash. On our way to the Eiffel Tower, my mom and I stopped at a street, the one Princess Diana had died on, while my sister had run across it without waiting. My mom screamed her name, but she didn't turn back until she reached the other side, and she started to laugh. By the time we got to the Eiffel Tower, the sky was jet black, and the lights of the tower were flashing like sparklers. Once we got to the hotel, it was around 9 o'clock, and none of us had eaten dinner. We went to the front desk, but to our disappointment, room service was closed, and we were out of options. The manager walked by, wearing a black suit and a blue tie. I'm guessing he took pity on us, seeing that my lack of shoes. He gave us Cinnamon Toast Crunch in silver bowls, decorated with silver flowers, and glass bottles of milk. It wasn't much, but I had never eaten cereal so grandly. The next morning, the locksmiths had gotten the safe open, and I rejoiced with my other sketcher. It was less rainy that day, and we were finally ready to get on a 9-hour flight. I learned a very valuable lesson that day. There will never be 2 microwaves in a hotel room. Our next presenter is Kuldeep Dibnath.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I will be presenting 3 of my poems about my adventures of staying up doing my homework. The first one is a villanelle about society, which I took inspiration from one of my AP Lang homework assignments. In this society, all too often we find ourselves consumed by the endless grind. We work and we toil, chasing success, but true happiness often eludes us to our distress. We long for a connection, care, and peace, but instead we are torn by depression, despair, and defeat. We succeed our relationships, isolation our goal, but deep down, we yearn for something more whole. We crave community, a sense of safe haven, but fear and mistrust bound us to this situation. The same old song, the same tired tale. It's time for a change, it's time to exhale. Society has built walls around us, dividing us by race, religion, and more. Let's break down these barriers. Let love lead the way and open up the door. Thank you. Thank you. The next will be a sonnet about the only thing I want at 1 a.m., sleep. The moon shines bright in the dark night sky as I lay in bed with heavy eyes, ready to drift off into a world full of dreams where worries and stress fall off the seams. My blankets envelop me, sealing me to my bed, a warm and cozy cocoon where I rest my head. No anxiety or stress, just peaceful ease as I sink into the comfort of my slumber's release. So let us all embrace the gift of sleep, for in its embrace we find solace and keep. It refreshes and rejuvenates the mind, helping us leave our troubles behind. For when we awaken, we are renewed, ready to face the day with a positive attitude. Thank you. Finally, I will present a poem about the only thing keeping me awake. And of course, this has to be physics. Shout out to Odette78, and before I start, shout out to O'Donnell 4th. This one is about potential energy. Potential energy, oh so grand, a force held within, just waiting to expand. Stored in objects with a mass, g, and a vertical displacement, ready to be released till they meet the adjacent. As they fall, they gain kinetic might, potential energy now converted, taking flight. From a coiled spring to a raised weight, potential energy is a force that will oscillate. It fuels the swing of a pendulum sway and the launch of a rocket soaring on its way. The world would be stagnant without any sight, for without potential energy, motion would not ignite. Thank you. And next presenting is Nadia Raza.
Hello. Sorry. Okay. My name's Nadia Raza. I'll be sharing two poems with you today. One is an ABCdarian, which, if you don't know, it's a poem that reads, when you read it down, it's the letters of the alphabet. So I'll read that poem, and then I have another poem after that. Okay. A beautiful childhood. A full moon rises with a backdrop of the starry sky. Black silhouettes stand at the shore watching the tide, bringing in the coral, seashells, and starfish that litter the beach. Dolphins splash and jump for the moon they try again and again to reach. Everything is so calm and peaceful here. Forget-me-nots and sunflowers and daisies, geraniums and hydrangeas and lilies, heaven on earth, they all exist in a sunny meadow. I stand, breathing in the scents coming from my window. I just close my eyes and breathe. Knights and castles, kings and queens, ladies and lords, they forever live in medieval times where nothing is forgotten, not even a single rose. Oh, to be a child again. Peaceful moments, quiet imaginings from my daydreams are released when night falls and darkness settles. Slice of light, delicious as cake, too soon it is over. Under the wide and starry sky, victorious flags waved up high, waves that playfully knock the ship, X marks the spot, treasured memories scattered like wood chips. You can see these moments, can't you? They zip through your brain too fast, but you still caught a glimpse. Thank you. I just want to say I took a line from one of the poems called Requiem, Robert Louis Stevenson's poem Requiem, and I put it in my poem, so I also included it down here, just to show you where I got it from. My next poem is called Listen. Okay. Listen. Listen closely. Do you hear it? Do you hear the sounds of life all around you? The fidgeting, the breathing, the heartbeats? Listen, do you hear my voice, the voices of those around you? Listen, do you hear your thoughts, the rambling, the run-on sentences, the restlessness? Listen, do you hear your past, the achievements, the humiliations, the regrets? Listen, do you hear your future? The beckoning finger of time belongs to an impatient hand. Listen, do you hear your present? The gift of today belongs to you and only you. Listen, do you hear my voice? Do you hear the tears I've kept down, the lies I tell myself, the loneliness I ignore, the aching of my heart, the tension in my laugh, the question in my voice? Why? Why didn't you hear me? Didn't you hear my pain? Didn't you hear my longing? Didn't you hear my sadness hidden behind the mask I made for you to keep you happy? Didn't you hear me? Listen. Listen. Do you hear my pain? Do you hear the vulnerabilities I revealed to you? Do you hear the hesitation in my voice as I try to decide if I should keep my emotions hidden deep, deep, deep down? Listen. Listen. Do you hear my hope? Do you hear my hope that the future will hear me? That I will meet you, the one who hears my voice? The one who hears the tears I've kept down, the truths I've hidden from myself, the loneliness I try to ignore, the aching of my heart, the tension in my laugh, and answers the question in my voice. I hear you. I hear you. I'm here for you. Thank you. The next presenter is Remy Longo.
Folks, morning. Hey, I like that energy. All right, we're good. All right, first off, I want to provide a shout out to Miss Morano's 4th period dramatics class. There we go. I like that. All right, so trying not to fall off this chair real quick. So, I wrote this song while I was procrastinating doing my, while I was procrastinating doing my college applications. They're done now, but this song is dedicated to every single senior in the room, every single kid who thinks that they won't make it through high school, and every single teacher who's watched us grow up and now leave the nest.
Feels so strange to be sitting on the stage, looking out at faces that watched me grow. Felt like a forever, gone in barely seconds, standing here before you one last time. Thank you for the memories, thank you for the joy. All the good and bad had brought me here. Looking out at faces and people just like me. Someday this'll be my once before. My favorite kind of memory, distant feeling close, with the sunset of an era to a close. I knew the feeling all too well, when all I could do was just survive. One day you'll be stronger, just takes a little time. You could write a tale to outshine mine. You'll be thankful for the memories, thankful for the joy. All the good and bad had brought us here. Looking out at faces and people just like me. One day this'll be our once before. Every tear and every smile leading up to this. Feels insane to leave this place behind. One day I'll look back and know that it was here, hanging on for decades yet to come. Thank you for the memories, thankful for the joy. All the good and bad had brought us here. Looking out at faces and people just like me. One day this will be our once before. Feels like an eternity, gone in barely seconds, standing here before you one last time. Thank you for the memories, thankful for the joy, with the sunset of an era to a close. Oh, oh, with the sunset of an era to a close.
Love y'all. Thanks so much for being an awesome audience. Love y'all.
Lots of love, lots of love. All right, let's give him one more round of applause. Actually, we're going to give him a couple more rounds of applauses, but... All right, we do have some more pieces from some of our readers, but I'm going to ask them a question first and then see if we have a quick audience question before we give them some time to bring up their other pieces. So Nadia, I'm going to come to you first for an extra piece, but I'll ask a question so that you can pull it up, okay? All right, so my first question is, if you were able to invite any author, director, or musician, band to Writers Week, who would it be and why? And to give you a moment to think, I think I would invite Jordan Peele, who's like a writer and a director, and I can listen to him talk about movies all day. So, Kirthi?
This is kind of a hard question. Yeah. I would, even though he's dead, I'd probably invite J.D. Salinger because he's kind of weird, and I feel like he would have a lot of interesting things to say. That would definitely keep the audience kind of like...
What are you reading in English right now, Kirthi?
Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, Catcher in the Rye. Any fans? Woo! Catcher in the Rye. Perfect day for a banana fish. So, yes, J.D. Salinger. Thank you. Okay.
I just watched Thor 2 like this weekend, so I'm gonna have to say Chris Hemsworth because he just like kind of looks cool and I like his character. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't read that much, so I'd probably invite a musician, and it'd probably be SZA, because I've been listening to like her new album.
I'm going to say my first thought would be Tim McGraw because I would enjoy to hear him, but I'd probably go Matthew McConaughey because he would probably have some cool things to say.
They don't have to be alive, right? Oh, okay. I mean, like, I wish she was alive. Diana Wynne Jones, she's a great author. She wrote Howl's Moving Castle and a bunch of other books, but, like, her writing is so whimsical and funny. So, yeah, if she were alive.
I mean, I'm just saying, Bo Burnham. Just, yes. Yeah! See? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Very nice. All right, and now we have Nadia coming back on up, so let's welcome Nadia back to the stage. Think about your own questions, too. All right, Nadia, take it away.
Okay, so I wrote this short story for the Palatine Library Halloween contest. It's not a poem, it's a story. It's from the perspective of an apple on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, okay. I awoke to the rooster's cry. I yawned and stretched my leaves, welcoming the warm nutrients of the sun. Today is going to be an amazing day. I know I will be one of the chosen ones. All around me, my family begins waking up and readying themselves for choosing day. Today, the old woman caretaker will choose 3 apples to be the chosen apples. These lucky few are treated like royalty and acknowledged as the best of the best. The legend says that the chosen ones are brought to the sunniest spot in the meadow, high enough above the ground so the worms and ants cannot reach, and are given as much water as they want. Every young apple dreams of becoming a chosen one. But I don't need to dream of becoming one. I know I am one. The hours drop by. All the apples begin preparing for the ceremony and polishing their skins so they have the brightest apple on the tree. Soon everything is ready, and all we are waiting for is the caretaker. Suddenly I hear a cry from the top of the tree. The caretaker is coming. She's coming. All the apples on the tree held their breath and hoped to be more noticeable. I watched with trepidation as the caretaker approached our tree, the Smiths. She contemplates every apple. Please choose me, please choose me, please choose me, I think. The caretaker pauses over Granny Smith. This one is very ripe, it will do nicely. She picked Granny off the tree. All the apples began waving their leaves in acclamation, but I knew they all resented the fact that they were not chosen themselves. Granny Smith is a chosen one, and there's only 2 more spots. One of them will be mine, I hope. Caretaker begins looking at my side of the tree. I stand my stem tall and try to catch her attention. Over here, look over here. I wave my leaf frantically just as she was about to look away. It must have worked because she picked me off the tree saying, now this one looks nice and juicy, perfect for pie. I did it. I'm a chosen one. This is a dream come true. I was so caught up with joy I didn't even hear what she said. The caretaker placed me in her basket with Granny. A few moments later, Grandpa Smith joined us. We were all ecstatic to be chosen ones. We waved our leaves goodbye to our families as the caretaker took us to our better lives. Or so we thought. After a few minutes' journey, the basket we traveled in was put on something flat and hard. Before we could react, we were sent cores over stems into a bucket of water. Then the caretaker began to wash us thoroughly. It was like being in the worst thunderstorm of my life. Not only was I completely soaked through, but the caretaker was scrubbing so hard I felt some of my perfectly ripened skin break. I coughed and sputtered and tried to get away, but the caretaker's hands were too strong. After hard scrubbing, she put us all down on a white surface. Then, as we were trying to wrap our cores around what just happened, the caretaker brought a knife down on Granny and cut her in half. Her life juice spurted all over the whiteboard, and Grandpa and I screamed. The caretaker kept cutting and cutting Granny until she was in small pieces, and that's not even the worst part. Grandpa and I watched horrified as the caretaker raised a piece of Granny to her mouth and ate her. Then, before I knew what was happening, the caretaker brought her knife down upon us. I closed my eyes, waiting for the inevitable slice, but none came. I opened my eyes to see the caretaker staring at me thoughtfully. She placed me on my head so the world became upside down. I saw a flash of silver, and the world went black. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right, do we have any time, or do we have any audience questions before I? Yes, right there. Remy question. Can we stream your song somewhere, Remy?
YouTube channel, but it's all done on the first take, so it's kind of a, you know. But my YouTube channel is Silver Songbird. It's just a gold S and then a silver S right below it. Yee. Love that.
Anyone else? Right here, Netta. Remy? Or Natty? Okay. Remy, when did you start playing the guitar?
I started playing guitar 2 years ago when I was supposed to be doing my math homework.
There's like a theme of avoiding homework, Kuldeep, and being inspired by physics. That's good, yeah. Yeah. All right, what other questions do we have? Okay, Kuldeep, do you want to come back? All right, come on. Let's welcome Kuldeep up to the stage again.
Good morning again. The poem I'm about to tell you is one I've been keeping. I was gonna save it till the end of the year, and it's actually for Mrs. O'Donnell here. So, yeah. Oh, Mrs. O'Donnell, an educator rare. Her lessons a treasure beyond compare. Her passion for English a sight to behold. Her wisdom a story that will never grow old. She guides us through evidence and reasoning too. Her passion and energy shines right through. She makes learning fun and laughter we find. Her teaching so engaging, it opens our mind. She encourages our students to express their voice and gives them the tools to make a meaningful choice. Her door is always open, and her advice is so wise. She's the kind of teacher that makes students rise. She challenges us to reach for the stars. Her confidence in us takes us far. Her words of encouragement light up our day. Her spirit so contagious, it cannot be swayed. So here's to Mrs. O'Donnell and all she's done for inspiring students and making learning so much fun. She's the best English teacher, that's for sure. And her impact on her students will forever endure. Thank you.
Oh, lies. Look how deep. But yes, A+ for the rest of the year. That was beautiful. Thank you. Oh my God. All right. Oh, I don't like attention. Who has got another question out here for these kids? Yes, Fiona. Kuldeep, is there any other place that we can read your poems? Good. Yes.
Everything is saved in my Google Docs, but I can send it to you if you want.
Your website.
Oh, shit. Also, I actually just recently published a website. So yeah, my poems are also saved there. And yeah, you should also check out my poetry book, which I published last summer on Amazon for $1.
Yeah, we got Kuldeep to our class this semester. Big pickup from the other English class. He's got a website. He's got books on Amazon. Pretty big deal. Oh, right here, yes. For Kirthi.
Were your shoes like
So were your shoes, where you stomp them and they light up, or were they just glittery?
I'm pretty sure it was like both. So there was like glitter on the shoes, but when you stomped on them, they lit up.
All right, all right. One more question. Up top, where? Here, Teschner, where? Right here, center? Oh, there. Where? Okay, whoever Teschner is pointing to. Yes, you. What's your favorite SZA song? Sydney, right?
Okay, recently it's been like Seek and Destroy just because I like the intro to it. So I don't know. That's right now. It changes though.
For those of us who don't know, can you give us a little rhythm to it, a little lyric, or is that inappropriate? No? Okay. Well, look it up. Seek and Destroy. All right, another question? Right here, center. Say it again? A stomp collaboration? All of us? All of them? Do you have a prompt for them? No, we don't want that. You got to apply and be accepted. Okay, but you guys should make a song together. Yeah, all right. Last question? Miss Ank? One more question, or are we done? One more question. Somebody point somebody out. Come on, my fourth hour. Do you got anything for me? Sarang? Right here, yes. Thanks, Miss Kelly, right over here. Go. Remy, what's your favorite Bo Burnham song?
You know that one song with the tractor and the girl standing in a cornfield with her arms out? Oh, wait, no, never mind. Sorry, that was a scarecrow. You know exactly the one I'm talking about.
The one person knows exactly what that is, but the rest of us. All right. Well, thank you guys again for being an amazing audience. Thank you, students. You're amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Maddie. Thank you, Kirthi.